You probably know that AI helps to speed up a lot of 3D routine, generating high poly, low poly, texturing, generating some PBR maps and even UV, but that's still quite long. What if I say there is a cheat code? And I mean real cheat code that helps to cut in half the whole classic pipeline and get same good results. Well guys, 3D artists are not going to like it, but in this video I'm gonna show you my full workflow to create game ready character optimized with full PBR setup without doing high poly or baking at all. Feels illegal? Don't believe me? If you don't believe me, watch this video until the end and I'm gonna prove you wrong. Guys, Steph here and I found a real juice. How do we test it? We're gonna create character and of course it will be my Mr. Mark. But this guy is so cute and we're gonna make him damn furious. I'm gonna skip explanation about how I create concept, there is a separate video, but let's review the results. We do have this amazing gentleman. I'm gonna use it for my game that I'm working on. Details matter is that the ornaments on his top jacket, on the hat, the rose, all that small things, I want to make them exceptional. Here I do have a close-up shot to the jacket, so you got the idea. I want to make it really nice. Normal map, nice texture, all that must be done. And of course, there will be an overcoat. As always, I split it into parts to get max quality and more control from AI generations. In my case, body, head, overcoat, rose, hats, and the nose ring. Additionally, there will be a reference to show more details which we're gonna need for texturing. So the first ingredient to cook this will be Tripo P1 particularly. That is an amazing model that creates low poly right away from the image, and they call it smart mesh because the mesh is actually logical. Closest free alternative will be Hunyuan Polygon 1.5, which you can use in Hunyuan Studio or on Hunyuan website. And for best result, it requires high poly, and then you can do build ray topology on top. I'm gonna continue with Tripo, and at this very moment, this is the best choice for me. So what do we do here? We're gonna drop the image, can be also a multi-view image, choose the poly counts. Here's the whole trick. You need to decide for each part what poly count makes sense, and it really does affect the mesh, the complexity of details inside parts. This is the first AI that generates mouse and tongue. For the body, we're gonna go with 10K. And another cool thing here is that the mesh is basically generated in just 5 seconds. And another reason why I want to use Tripo is that the mesh generated within 10 seconds. However, of course, you might not get results from the first try. That's why there's free retry, and I use them all the time. It usually takes me like 3 to 4 generation to get nice mesh that I will proceed with. Here's my body, and look at the mesh. It is quite good. It's not 100% perfect, but for my purpose, that's enough. I'm gonna tweak some limbs for animation and stuff, and will be quite good. Same goes for the coats. Just look at this. Just need to remove some stuff, because since we're gonna use the texture for it, and that's cool. And for the hats, just an amazing. Nose ring, we're gonna probably remove some parts that will be hidden, and the face alone, right? Also, very nice job, especially since that's a non-human understanding of geometry and all these lines is amazing. And I also do have the rose. It is the only exception that I made first in high poly and then used retopology in Tripo to get it done nicely. And just look at this result. For real, if until this moment you are still skeptical, just look at this and drop the comments, your honest comment if you still think this is a bad topology. And if you guys also want to try Tripo, there will be a link in the description with the best promo code I could possibly get. And I honestly recommend it over any other AI tools. It has everything you might need. You can generate image including the latest GPT image 2, which is amazing. It has HD model that creates amazing high poly, best in the class. Smart mesh, also one of a kind, and it does really good results. Moreover, separate parts, do ray topology, texture objects, upscale, add PBR, and more. So if you didn't notice, we just actually skipped one step from classic pipeline. Ouch. Let's move on. Now in my workflow, we're gonna need to combine things. So that's why I usually generate the character, and then I'm gonna remove parts that I'm gonna replace with head and stuff. In my other video, I covered this in details. And usually I was showing how to use sculpt mods to work with high poly, and then we bring it to ray topology, and then we do baking, which is amazing. But it's possible to skip it and achieve the same in different way. And by the way, here's the tongue in piece that Tripo generates. So basically, that can be be used as a face ready for rig. So the whole thing I'm gonna do is to combine parts and optimize the mesh, right? We're gonna make something beautiful. So I'm gonna remove arm and feet, then another arm and feet I'm gonna separate in an object. Then I also separate hands. That will be needed for unwrapping and stuff to control the texture better. And you might guess I will just mirror the arm and feet. There are no rotation and scale applied. We're gonna apply them and the mirror works. Just like that, we're gonna save texture space and we're gonna make the texturing easier since they are similar. Okay, I position objects. I remove the mesh that intersects or will be hidden. Such on the ring, there are some parts that will never be visible. So we're gonna just delete them. Okay, we add hats, we will add rows, and same as usual, I'm gonna use sculpt mode to adjust the geometry. With low poly, surprisingly, it works probably even better. I mean, the adjusting the shape. Of course, the smoothing and stuff not gonna work because we don't have enough polygons. But to adjust the shape, well, it works quite nice. As I mentioned, low poly generation is not 100% perfect. There always might be a need to remove some parts. Like on the codes, I quickly selected these pieces and just remove them. But since they are logical, it's very easy to select them by, for example, delimiting by normal or UV or seams. In Blender, you click on one vertex, Ctrl L by seam, it's selected, and then X to delete. Definitely easier than working with high poly. One more thing that I usually take care and recommend, if you're going to animate your character, you have to make sure you have enough seams on the areas that will be bent. So on limbs like fingers, ankles, shoulders, that's super easy to address in Blender. You just need to know few buttons to click. And if you don't know yet, guys, I launched my first 3D AI course that is designed especially for the beginners or solo game developers, where I cover the minimal basics to allow you to create amazing characters and props using best AI tools. The link will be in the description. Okay, now we have everything assembled and aligned. The next step is to unwrap it. And before, everyone was saying like AI generated meshes are so crap, it's so difficult to unwrap. But look at this. I'm just unwrapping the AI generated mesh. I mean, I'm just dropping some seams. I'm pressing on the loops are selected, and it takes me total 10 minutes to get really nice UV. It is only possible because mesh is really good. And again, you see what you see. Also, for those who don't know, in Hunyuan 3D Studio, there is UV unfolding, like the first ever AI unfolding really, where you can upload your object and try to unfold it. And sometimes the results are very, very impressive, especially for solo devs. If you want to make your models better, it's actually free. And recently there was announce of Mesh Taylor, extremely cool paper about really intelligent UV. I'm really waiting for it to integrate into my workflows. But even manually, it is extremely easy to do if you have good geometry. Together with some free add-ons like UV Pack Master, I can pack nicely all the texture as I want it, and I am ready for texturing. So now we're gonna skip another step from classic pipeline, which is baking. Well, there's nothing to bake. We do not have high poly, we just have nice unwrapped low poly. And for the second ingredient, we'll be mixing Tripo and Modddif. So Tripo might help with texturing, so we can upload any object that we created with our UV, go to texture and just texture it. For some simple objects, I really recommend this. Look how amazing the rows ended up. I really don't need more of it. I'm super happy with the result. It has this stylization exactly how I got it on the reference. And let's check in Blender, looks amazing. Okay, for the rest, we're gonna move to Modddif, create new project, and import the whole character as FBX, or you can use OBJ and GLB as well. Let's import it, and since we already have everything in place, first we're gonna drop the reference images here. Okay, reference images needs to start texture. Now moving to the texture mode, here we're gonna go with 2K since I have parts separated nicely. I don't need 4K texture for it. And the process here look like this. We select the reference and we start generating views and then applying the views. Of course, it's totally fine to create additional reference as you go if you need some more details on the sides, etc. In my case, there's a detailed ornament. And the good thing in Modddif, you can press 3 dots and press create variation and create additional reference right here. Now there's two main approaches, using multi-view and single view. I prefer single view, but if you want full breakdown on Modddif, check out my other video where I explain all possibilities about this amazing tool. My process looked like that. Create a view. If I'm happy, press plus to add it on top of the object. And just like this, I'm gonna go and texture the whole west. Change the angle, repeat the process, make sure that generation is correct, add additional reference on the need. You can also add additional guiding to the prompt. In my case, I additionally specify the color. And another extremely useful tool that I use here is patching. So it works like this. You select the region that has artifacts. That will happen. That's fine. Then we create new layer and generate image as before. Now the difference here is that we need to choose in paintbrush to paint on top to reveal that new generation like that. Using only these two tools, it's possible to get that far as I just did with this vest, and it looks amazing. For me, it looks exactly as I wanted. Again, detailed video somewhere in the corner where I explain all the options, but all what you see is just a color texture. And if we try to apply lights, you can see it is extremely flat. And now I'm gonna show you an amazing tool that actually resulted in this video idea. We can generate normal map on top of the color map. Yes, it works on top of the color map. In Modddif, you go to normal map generation, press generate map after you have completed your texture, and look what it gives you. You take a brush and selectively in paint the normal map, just like that. And look how much details it adds. And there's a mode to preview this normal map as well, so which we're gonna do and check. And look how much better it looks. Now, all these details, they actually look like embroidery, right? Let's go to the back, and here is a strap on the back. So now we have it on the normal map texture, and let's preview how it will interact with the lights. Okay, how cool is that? It actually looks like an object on top, and there is no high poly. Usually it will be baked, right? But now you can basically just paint it. Similar thing we can do for almost every object. Like on pants, we can add these folds so they look much better on the lighting. We can add laces to our boots, and all of that without having high poly model. That really feels like cheating. On top of the face, it helps to add sharpness, which really makes sense. So cooking done in Modddif, so we're gonna break this character back to Blender and finalize it. So of course there might be imperfections on the normal map, and I really usually go over with some simple painting tools in Blender to fix some small issues. Again, you don't need to know all of this, just 10%, and you can get this amazing result. Again, in my 3D course, I cover basic minimum in details so you can proceed fast and create your dream games. As a very last step in Blender, it makes sense to create metallic and roughness maps. If you have everything done, usually you can use paintbrush or you can use fill tool to set the metallic and roughness and make it look nice, to define what parts should be shiny, what should be matte, and so on. In some cases, a similar way you can create emissive map. And here's our guy finalized. Now, as a bonus step, let's bring him to life and stress test in the real Unreal Engine setup. So for rigging, AccuRIG is my choice right now. It's free, it does really great job. 5 minutes to set up all markers for body and fingers, calibrate it, calculate it, all that stuff, cooking, and then here we go. Just look at this gentleman. Mr. Mike, how do you evaluate distinguished gentleman? This guy is not skipping chest day for sure, right? Maybe we also do chest day today. Yeah, we're gonna do chest. In AccuRIG, additionally, you can adjust pose offset. For this guy with the big chest, definitely needed. You just need to make arms go a little bit wider. Oh, this one, how? Well, I mean, I really like it. And the cool thing, you can directly export it to Unreal Engine skeleton, which saves quite a lot of time. Mixama is quite limited to Mixama skeleton. The truth is also that rig is usually like 90-95% there. If you have like relatively simple character, there might be a need to adjust weights some places. I also covered that in my course, but the biggest part is still automated, which is amazing. I hate do rigging myself, but to fix small issues is not a problem. And finally, let's drop this guy to Unreal Engine and test it out. So for testing, we use third-person templates, and then we'll just simply replace the character in Unreal Engine. I show it in details in my other videos. Check out on my channel. Then we basically retarget from default Unreal Engine character, and here you go. You can run around, you can test out the material, you can test it on different animations basically, and it looks amazing. If you like this video, hit that like and subscribe button. I really need your support to continue making these videos for you. See you in the next one.